Hi, my name is Drew Raison. I'm the Executive Director of EMEAPP, the Electronic Music Education and Preservation Project located north of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the United States. We just had a great week with Antoine Baril and Paul DiGiacomo. They're from Quebec. You might know Antoine as the guy that created One Man Yes, One Man Genesis, and One Man Rush, along with a bunch of other great videos on YouTube. Well, we had a chance to reel him in and get him into EMEAPP to create One Man Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And this is where we did it. So we're going to show you some of the backstage action. This isn't really a making of video. This is more about how we got involved in a segment of working on One Man Emerson, Lake and Palmer. We used a lot of Keith Emerson's gear, and we used a lot of vintage synthesizers and other instruments as well, and we'd love to show them to you. Why don't you come on along and we'll show you around. One exciting thing was seeing the look on Antoine's face when he came walking into this room and was surrounded by Keith Emerson's gear.
I'll do a reveal. Welcome to the studio.
How you doing?
You know, I'm kind of freezing right now. No, man. May I go there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the first one. That's the real one. That's the actual one. Wow, man.
Ça roule. Ça pas l'air sûr, ça. How about you? Moi, je n'ai pas arrêté de rouler.
Keith Emerson was well known for using the Yamaha GX1 in his live and studio performances. This is one of the cleanest GX1s in the world. We're very proud to have this very, very rare instrument. Other users of the GX1 are Stevie Wonder, John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, and Benny Andersson from the band ABBA. Keith Emerson was well known for his use of the Hammond organ. This is Keith's personal Hammond C3 that was customized by our good friend Al Goff at Goff Professional. Al created an electronic recipe for the Hammond C3 organ that really became unique to the sound of Keith Emerson. And this is a perfect example of a flame-throwing Hammond C3. Another thing about this particular instrument is this is the actual Hammond C3 that was used to record the album Tarkus and to tour the album Tarkus and many tours thereafter. Keith Emerson also used the Moog Minimoog in his own personal setup. This is one of Keith's split Minimoogs. He actually kept the keyboard in a drawer for a number of tours that he could actually pull out to play a bass part of a given song. Very, very special instrument. We're very proud to have this one as well. Although Antoine did not play this instrument, this is one of Keith Emerson's L100 Hammond organs. And you might notice that it looks extremely beaten up. You might also notice that there are a couple daggers sticking out of it. Well, this is one of the instruments that would be sacrificed on stage nightly by Keith Emerson. And you can even see how the keys are different colors because his technicians had to continually replace the keys to make the instrument playable, so Keith could destroy it every night. This particular instrument caught fire on stage in Boston. The audience thought it was a part of the show, but it wasn't. EMEAPP is loaded with Moog Minimoogs. Antoine decided to use a pair of Minimoogs for this performance so we could have two different sounds set up at the same time. The Minimoog on the left is interesting because it actually has a Micro Moog style touch ribbon to adjust pitch. And the instrument on the right is mighty special because it used to belong to Bernie Worrell, who of course performed in Parliament Funkadelic and the Talking Heads. And then of course we have Keith Emerson's famous Moog Modular synthesizer. This is a very, very special instrument that grew in physical stature over the decades and has entertained hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. This is the world's most famous synthesizer perhaps, and it's also considered the world's most dangerous synthesizer. Antoine also chose to use a Mellotron Model 400, which is a tape-based instrument. Each key has its own piece of tape. When you hold down a note, it'll play for 7 seconds, but then it stops because it ran out of tape. And you let go, and a spring pulls it back into place, and the note is ready to go again. For the segment of the recording called The Planets by Holst, Antoine broke out some real firepower. This is an Oberheim 8-voice synthesizer loaded up with SEMs, which are the synthesizer expander modules. This is a rare beauty. We are so proud to have it, and it sounds amazing in the recording. The Oberheim OBX was a game changer when it came out back in 1979. It really has a unique sound. And again, with Antoine doing his magic, it really brought this gorgeous sound to the forefront. The Oberheim OBX is very different than the other Oberheims that we have. It's truly a unique instrument. The newer and updated version of the OBX is called the OBXA. It's the OBX on steroids, and Antoine used this throughout the recording as well. What a beautiful instrument. Antoine also chose to use the ARP Quadra, which is another rare gem. The ARP Quadra is beloved by the progressive rock world, especially Tony Banks from Genesis. Speaking of rare, the Japanese KORG PS3300 synthesizer was a favorite of Keith Emerson, and he used it for many, many years in an awful lot of his productions. Antoine chose to use this instrument because of its sound and the fact that Keith adored it as much as he did. The Moog Taurus bass pedals are another iconic instrument that create an iconic sound that's beloved in the progressive world. Keith Emerson also used a Hohner Clavinet Model L, and Antoine decided to as well. The clavinet is a very, very popular instrument played by Stevie Wonder, Latchy Doley, George Duke, and on and on and on. It's a fantastic sound and very recognizable. In the late 80s, KORG came out with the M1, which is one in a series of unique synthesizers that really grabbed the world. Keith Emerson had a fantastic relationship with the people at KORG, so you see a lot of the KORG instruments used in his recordings. A highlight of Antoine's visit was watching him sit down at Keith Emerson's 1972 Steinway Model D 9-foot concert grand piano. We're very proud to have this instrument, and it behaves so beautifully in a studio environment. Well, thank you for taking some time to take a look at this backstage process of recording with Antoine Baril here at EMEAPP. To learn more about EMEAPP, please visit us at emeapp.org or find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please join us with a free membership. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.